everybody, welcome back to Chelsea Bakes. So today, back by popular demand, we have Grandma in the kitchen again, and we're gonna do another family recipe today. And it's actually been passed down from generation to generation from my great-grandma.
And this is a very simple recipe, but it's a favorite of the family, the orange cookies. I know every family has an orange cookie recipe, but to us this is special. Our kids like this no matter what occasion it is, we have to have orange cookies.
It's definitely a favorite. It's actually in the recipe of our life book that my grandma compiled. This is where we also got the homemade donut recipe that we made last fall. So there's the orange cookies. And as you can see, it's a very used recipe. You can tell by the page and the watermarks. So let's get started.
Okay, you know we need 3 bowls to start this recipe.
So we have 3 different bowl stations.
First you're going to do your dry ingredients.
Okay, so we're going to start with the dry. And we need how many cups of flour?
3 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, and 3/4 teaspoon of salt.
Right, so we already have our 3 cups of flour. So then we're going to do the 3 teaspoons of baking powder.
Always make sure you have fresh baking powder.
Fresh.
Yes.
Gotta make sure it's fresh, people.
Yeah.
1.
I can remember when my mother made these, she always had a sifter, and everything had to be sifted through the sifter. But I take a shortcut now. I just take a spoon and swirl it around.
We all take the shortcut.
And it works.
They still taste the same. That's all that matters. And then we need 3/4 of salt.
Yes.
Teaspoons.
Yes.
So I'm going to use a 1/2 teaspoon and then a 1/4 teaspoon since I don't have a 3/4 one. Oh, there we go. All right. And are we just going to mix this with the whisk?
You could use the whisk on that. Just whisk it all around. Make sure it's well blended so your baking powder gets everywhere and your salt. Okay, I think that's good enough. Now you take your second bowl.
We're going to set the first one aside.
Get your second bowl. You're going to well beat your eggs in the bottom first.
So we need 2 eggs.
2 eggs, well beaten. Yes.
Does it matter if these are room temperature or?
No, it doesn't matter. Just use your whisk and get them well beaten.
So we're going to beat these with the whisk.
That's good. That's good.
And then what? Add sugar?
You need 1 1/4 cups of sugar.
All right, so we're going to add 1 1/4 cups of sugar.
Yes.
We already have measured out here.
Yes. And you have to blend in your shortening. I generally soften it, but you don't have that softened, so you're going to.
So we're good?
Yeah, you can.
Should we mix
stir
the
this
sugar
up first? Yeah, mix this up first.
With the
Use
mixer?
your whisk.
The whisk?
Yeah, I use a whisk for a lot of things.
She's a pro at this recipe. I still need to learn her ways.
Well, when you do it for so many years, you learn.
Maybe one day I'll be that good.
Okay, now you're going to need some kind of a perforated spoon to get your shortening well mixed in with that.
All right, we can grab that.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have our perforated spoon, and we're going to add in the shortening.
You're going to add 3/4 cup of shortening.
3/4 cup of shortening.
Now I sometimes use margarine.
Margarine.
And that would be 1.5 squares. But that you can use your shortening and you just kind of mash it around through with your perforated spoon, yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. Just keep going till you get it well mixed. So it can mix with your sugar and your egg. Yeah, go ahead, a little more.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, now you want to do your orange.
So now the key ingredient, we're gonna add the orange.
Orange, yeah. Well, first you're going to use orange juice. I mean, you can squeeze an orange and get the orange juice, but it's just as easy to buy orange juice with pulp in it and use it. So you
To make
need,
this a little simpler, today we're just gonna use pre-squeezed orange
yes.
juice.
You need
So we set this aside.
yes. There's
Do we
your-
add that to here?
No,
The
you're
third bowl.
You can put it. No, you put it in here. Your third bowl is going to be for your frosting.
Okay, so we're going to add how much of the orange juice?
It's 2/3 cup.
2/3
Check
a
and
cup?
make sure.
All right, yep, 2/3 of cup of orange juice.
Yeah.
And then we have, I bought one with high pulp to give it that fresher taste, like fresh
It
squeezed
gives it
orange
more
juice.
of an orange taste. Yes.
So we're gonna do 2/3
2/3
cup of orange juice. And add that right to the sugar mixture.
Yeah.
So there's 1/3.
Add just a tad full. There you go.
And
Okay.
2/3.
2/3. Okay. Now you're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla.
Teaspoon of vanilla. So we're a teaspoon of vanilla.
Okay.
And then do we need the orange rind?
No, the orange rind goes in the frosting.
That goes in the frosting.
Yes.
So do I just mix
Just
this
mix
with the
that
spoon?
mix that real good. Squish it around so you get that shortening well. Then you're going to add that to your flour mixture. It's going to take a lot of stirring to get it well mixed.
So you just keep stirring it till it's mixed more than this?
Yeah. Okay, you can get your flour mixture now.
Think that's good?
Yes.
Scrape this off.
Do you want me to get your flour for you?
Sure, are we mixing this with a mixer?
I never do. I do it by hand, but you could use a mixer because you're shortening still a little bit.
Okay.
What you could do is add it, gradually add it.
Should you add the flour to the sugar or vice versa?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
you
matter?
can do it either way.
All right.
Whichever bowl you feel more comfortable
Well,
with.
we'll do this way. The whole thing?
No, put a little bit in now.
Just half?
Yeah, and then mix it up a little bit.
Little.
And then you can add the rest. Yeah, that'll mix it good.
I'm a fan of the electric mixer. I'm
Yeah.
not quite as good as mixing it by hand.
I know. It is easier, yes.
So should I add the rest now?
Yeah, you can add the rest. You want me to take your bowl so you don't. Now once you get this well blended, you have to put it in the refrigerator to chill. I usually do mine one day and put it in the refrigerator until the next day.
Oh, okay. So
I just think it's easier to work with.
So we actually made a batch last night and put it in the refrigerator overnight.
So
we'd
it's
have a fresh
it's ready
batch to bake today.
It's ready to bake. Yes. You got a good thing to cover it with Saran wrap. Put it in the refrigerator. It's good.
Good?
Yeah.
get all the batter off.
Right.
Alright, so we're gonna cover this one with saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator, and we'll get our pre-made batch to actually put the cookies in the oven. And you're going to want to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So now we're going to scoop the dough balls onto the cookie baking sheet. And do you have to chill the dough for 24 hours, Grandma? Or
1 or 2 hours is sufficient. But I like to do mine in steps. I do it one day and
breaks up the steps a little bit. You're not so overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's right.
And also, overnight's probably a decent amount of time if you mix it up the night before and want to bake them in the morning. So let's get started. And I believe this recipe yields about 3 dozen cookies. Is that big enough? Should we make it a little?
I would make them just a tad bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, about like that, yeah.
And how long do these need to bake in the oven?
8 to 10 minutes.
8 to 10 minutes.
And it's on an ungreased cookie sheet.
An ungreased cookie sheet.
Yeah.
There's already enough shortening in this. You don't need any more grease.
That's right. While this batch is baking, you can mix up your frosting.
Oh, great. We'll get to that next.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're gonna place these cookies in the oven to bake for 8 to 10 minutes. And you want them to be like fluffy and
just like a light golden color.
Light golden color.
Yeah.
So now we're going to make the frosting for the orange cookies. And how much powdered sugar would you say we start with, Grandma?
Half of the bag. It would be half of a 2-pound bag.
So like a pound approximately. Yeah. We don't really measure for it. You just want to get it like a thicker, smoother consistency.
Then you're going to add your 2 to 3 tablespoons of melted butter. That kind of holds it together like. Okay, you can stir that around. Just get it mixed a little bit, and then you'll add your orange juice.
So just pour until
don't pour it all in at once. Just pour a little bit in till you get the right consistency. That's enough right now to start.
And just mix?
Yeah, mix it up good. The idea of using the whisk, it gets any lumps out after you get it all mixed.
Should we add a little more?
Yeah, add a little bit more. Okay, now try that. You don't want to get it too runny because then it's hard to
frost the cookies.
Because it runs off of them. That looks to me like it's a good consistency. Just get it mixed well. So you get all the lumps out. Use a little bit of muscle on that.
And use some more muscle.
That's it. Now shred a little bit of your rind.
Okay, so then you want to use a fresh orange for some rind to add to the icing, and this is optional.
Yeah, but it makes it more the orange taste you get when you put the rind in.
So how much? About 2 teaspoons?
2 teaspoons.
You don't need to really measure. This can just be your preference.
Just add some. I think that should probably be enough, Chelsea. It'll give it that flavor in. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's plenty.
Right, so you're going to want to add in the orange rind.
Stir it up.
The oranges smell super fresh.
Yeah, very good, very good. That's good. It's got the nice orange coloring to it too.
You can see the orange coloring, the orange rind mixed in, and it's a little bit thicker. So now we'll just set that aside until the cookies are ready. Okay, so now that the cookies are done, you're gonna wanna let them cool off completely for about 10 to 20 minutes so the icing doesn't run when you frost them. And then we'll just get a little
Yeah, I
bit.
think that's cool enough. You could go. See, that's a good consistency on that frosting.
Frosting to be a little thicker. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to pipe it or anything. You can just spread it on with a knife or a spatula.
Yeah. Very good.
Alright. So there's one of the orange cookies. Alright, so here's the finished product of the orange cookies. And Grandma, how long would you say these last in an airtight container?
Up to a week, I'd say.
Up to a week,
Yeah.
so you can enjoy them all week long. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to Chelsea Bakes, and we want to thank Grandma here for sharing her knowledge in this wonderful family recipe. And if you want to go back and refer to the video for the steps or any tips, you can find this on chelsealynnbakes.wordpress.com. Thank you, bye.
Thank you for having me.